Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a very fun theme team in the Evolution Cup, the Triple Dragon theme team. This team consists of Dragonair on the lead, Hakamoho as the save switch, and Zweilous as the closer. Typically, running 3 dragon types on the same team is not advisable, but this meta only has one Charmer, which is Brionne, which isn't even a fairy type, and outside of that, fairy types are few and far between. I ran this team for a few sets, and it performed way better than I expected, as I was able to climb back above Legend rank. Hopping into the first match, leading Dragonair into Vigoroth. I'm very happy to catch the Vigoroth on the lead. That way, my Zweilous is not going to have to face it in the endgame. They're staying in, so I'm just going to farm up a ton of energy. They fire off a Body Slam. I'm going to let this through and then hit back with my own Body Slam. But my opponent makes a switch as they're able to catch the Body Slam onto their Dragonair. Body Slam does get a shield, and honestly, that is perfect for me. I can now shield once, farm all the way down, and leave with a ton of energy loaded on my Zweilous to threaten that Vigoroth. Zweilous able to get the farm down, and now when they bring back in the Vigoroth, I have energy to spare. Opponent waits the timer, in comes Vigoroth. I think I can make it to 2 Body Slams here. I fire off the first, that lands. Zweilous able to get to the second Body Slam. That is absolutely massive. Body Slam takes them out. In the back, they have their own Hakamoho, so they're running Double Dragon, but Double Dragon is going to lose to Triple Dragon, as I can just shield once and farm down with my Hakamoho. Opponent fires off the Dragon Claw, my Dragon Tail KOs, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a pretty neutral lead Dragonair into Dusclops. Opponent save switches into Lairon, and this is not a good Pokemon for my team to see. Lairon is one of the few eligible Pokemon in the Evolution Cup meta that does resist Dragon. I'm able to land the Aqua Tail, and then I'm going to bring in Hakamoho. Hakamoho is notoriously tanky, able to absorb the damage from Lairon. They fire off a second Body Slam. That is fine by me. I'm going to let it go and farm up to the back-to-back moves. This way, if they decide to commit the shield, I'm going to be able to take them out anyway. Dragon Claw goes unshielded. No point in them shielding when I have back-to-back. And they bring in Celio, so not only do they have a Steel type, they have an Ice type as well, and I only have Dragons. Things not looking good for me. I'm going to bring in Dragonair. They're going to fire off a move. Body Slam will not KO here. They fire off the Body Slam. I'm going to continue to farm up, and I'm going to fire back with a Body Slam of my own. This is going to be getting them quite low. Opponent is going to commit the shield. I bring in Zweilous, and these Dragon Breaths are starting to get that Celio quite low. I commit the shield. It's a Body Slam. In comes Dusclops. Dusclops is actually running Feint Attack, which is very interesting. Typically, Hex is recommended on Dusclops, but you can run Feint Attack if you're wanting a stronger Vigoroth matchup, but that typically comes at the expense of a lot of other matchups. So this is a Feint Attack Dusclops. I'm farming up, they're barely able to outpace me, and I'm going to commit the shield. I need to farm up and leave with a Dark Pulse and a Body Slam loaded. So I farm up, I fire off the Dark Pulse, and I believe that's a CMP tie. Dark Pulse will be taking out the Dusclops, and we leave with the Body Slam for the Haunter. So Triple Dragon faces a Steel type and an Ice type, and still gets the win. Hopping into the next match, leading Dragonair into Vigoroth. Same game plan as last time. I'm going to stay in this lead, try and get rid of the Vigoroth, so that way my Zweilous can sweep in the endgame. They're going to fire off a Body Slam. I'm going to let this go, throw 1 Dragon Breath, and then immediately return fire with my own. This is not enough to KO, but it will get the Vigoroth quite low. Vigoroth continues to farm. They bring in Haunter, going for a snipe, but I'm able to reach a last-second Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail gets the shield from Haunter, and now I can bring in Zweilous. These Dragon Breaths are absolutely tearing through Haunter. I will shield the Ice Punch, as that would do a lot of damage. I'm going to farm up and fire off the Body Slam before they're able to reach Ice Punch number 2. Body Slam is double resisted, but it's enough to KO the Haunter. Opponent is going to bring back in Vigoroth. They must be weak to Zweilous in the back if they're bringing back in the Vigoroth. I tank the Body Slam. I'm able to farm down. In the back, they have Shadow Dusclops. I'm going straight for the Dark Pulse, hoping to try and punish a no-shield here. Dark Pulse does get shielded. That's quite unfortunate. I'm just going to keep farming up. I switch, and I'm able to catch onto Dragonair. Let's go. Shadow Punch I'm going to bring back in these Wireless to force them to throw. And at this point, I don't have to commit the shield because Hakamo is going to be able to comfortably farm down this Shadow Dusclops. Dusclops is going to be able to reach the Ice Punch, but Hakamo is just too tanky. Ice Punch gets me into the yellow. Hakamo able to farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Dragonair into Swilus. Fairly neutral lead, so I'm going to be staying in here, and I'm going to be going for the Body Slam. Body Slam isn't going to be enough to KO, but it will get them quite low. Body Slam gets the Swilus low. Swilus is going to throw a Body Slam themselves, and then I'm going to save switch into Hakamo. In comes Hakamo, but it's a simultaneous save switch, and it's a Togetic in the back. One of the only fairy types in the meta, and this is absolutely awful. Everything I throw here is double resisted against Togetic, so I'm just going to keep spamming out these Dragon Claws. Dragon Claws are just doing absolutely no damage. I'm committing shields. You know what? I need to try and get rid of this Togetic. They fire off an Aerial Ace. I continue to farm up, and I'm going to fire off another Dragon Claw. But these are just doing absolutely no damage. They actually do commit the shield, and they throw a move. Okay? Honestly, this is fine. I'm going to let that go. It is the Aerial Ace, and now I'm going to bring in Zwilus. I still don't know what that final Pokemon is, but I may not even get the chance to see it, because Togetic just has so much energy. They're firing off another move. I'm going to commit my final shield here, and they get the boost as well. You have got to be kidding me. I fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam gets them very low. In the back, it is a Shadow Razor Leaf Grottle. I'll be honest, I don't really know the Grottle counts. I fire off the Body Slam. I'm getting low here. I switch, hoping I get the catch, but I do not. My opponent is going to be able to take me out with a Body Slam, and unfortunately, that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading into yet another Vigoroth lead. As you can see, Vigoroth lead is extremely common in this cup, so it's good to have a lead that either has a neutral to favorable matchup against Vigoroth. They fire off the Body Slam. They're going to save switch into Dusclops. Here, I try and go for the Shadow Punch catch, but my opponent is able to hold on to their energy, and because I failed that catch, giving them this big of an energy lead, they can probably flip this matchup. I'm going to let this go. A second Ice Punch is not going to be enough to KO, so I'm going to let that through, continue to farm up, and then fire off the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse will hit for massive damage if it lands. Dark Pulse does get shielded, as my opponent is looking to try and flip switch here. And honestly, I'm just going to let them have switch. I definitely misplayed by not switching right away and giving them an energy lead. And I'm going to bring in Hakamo and try and farm down. I'm going to respect an Ice Punch. It wouldn't KO, but it would do a lot of damage. So I do commit the shield. They're able to live on very low HP and they get to one final move. I let it through. Thankfully, just a Shadow Punch. We'll have to see what they have in the back. We know about the Vigoroth. They bring in the Vigoroth, and I'm going straight for the Brick Break. This Brick Break is going to hurt if it lands. Opponent commits the shield. Hakamo just has so much energy loaded. I fire off another Brick Break. That gets the Vigoroth low. I'm able to snipe with the Aqua Tail that was on Dragonair. Aqua Tail KOs the Vigoroth. In the back, they have Haunter, and Haunter is about to get melted. This Aqua Tail is going to be getting that Haunter incredibly low, and then I'm just going to be able to Dragon Tail down with Hakamo, and that is a good game. Pretty neutral lead in the next match, Dragonair into Golbat. Opponent is going to save switch into their own Dragonair, but they are running the Shadow. I'm going to fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam will be getting them very low. Opponent commits the shield, and now it is Hakamo time. I'm going to shield once, farm down, and this way I leave with a Dragon Claw loaded to threaten the health of that Golbat. I'm able to fully Dragon Tail down. Opponent brings back in the Golbat. This is not the greatest matchup ever for Hakamo, but with an energy lead, it can put in some serious work. Hakamo continuing to farm, able to get to another Dragon Claw. Let's go. This Dragon Claw gets the shield. Golbat looking for the farm down, and they get it. I bring in Dragonair to force them to throw their energy. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to trust in Zwilus. Poison Fang gets me low. In the back, they have a Shadow Seadra. Oh my goodness, that is a cool pick. I don't know how tanky Shadow Seadra is, to be honest. So to ensure the KO, I go for the Dark Pulse. That's going to take them out. Golbat is only going to be able to reach one move, so I shield the Poison Fang, farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Dragonair into Metang. This is a terrible lead, but honestly, I don't have a lot for Metang, so I'm going to stay in here and try and play it out as best as I can with Dragonair. I'm going to fire off the Aqua Tail, but as opposed to Lairon, Metang only takes neutral from Aqua Tail, so it's able to tank it a lot better. Thankfully, the Dragon Breaths are adding up here. Metang fires off the Gyro Ball. That gets me quite low, and I'm going to return fire with another Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is able to get Metang low. Metang not quite able to farm down. I go for the snipe with Hakamo, but I'm barely not able to get it. Metang goes for a Psyshock. That nearly takes me out. In the back, they have Zweilous. I'm going to fire off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw gets the Zweilous low. I'm going to try and go for the farm down with my own Zweilous, but they're able to reach a Body Slam. Things going from bad to worse. I have to hope that Zweilous can beat whatever they have in the back here. Opponent has a Vigoroth, and I concede the match. Hopping into the next match, leading Dragonair into yet another Vigoroth lead. The good news is, at this point, we are very accustomed with how to deal with the Vigoroth lead. Tank a Body Slam, fire back with our own, and if they decide to stay in, just play out the Zero Shield. Opponent goes for a catch onto their own Dragonair, but I'm able to hold on to my energy and bring in Zweilous. I'm going to shield once, farm all the way down, and this way I leave with a lot of energy to threaten the Vigoroth and hopefully get my shield back. I am fully able to farm down. They're for sure bringing back in the Vigoroth here, and I think I will be able to get to the double Body Slam. I fire off the first on very, very precise timing there, throwing a Dragon Breath and then throwing one move. And with that timing, I am barely able to reach a second Body Slam. That is huge. Second Body Slam takes out their Vigoroth. In the back, they have their own Zweilous, and I can just Dragon Tail them down with Hakamo. My opponent has 2 shields, and they're going to die with 2 shields, and that is a good game. Hopping into the final match, leading Dragonair into Haunter. Pretty decent lead for Dragonair. Opponent is going to save switch into a Chansey, and this is probably my least favorite part of the Evolution Cup, the fact that Chansey is allowed. Chansey is absolutely absurdly tanky. It has a terrible, terrible moveset, but due to its immense bulk, it gives it play purely based on the fact that it can just stall out opponents long enough to be able to inflict damage over time. Chansey is going to fire off the Dazzling Gleam. That deals a ton of damage, but I'm able to survive it due to Chansey's absolutely 0 attack stat and reach one final Brick Break before I get taken out. This is a bit of a tough spot to be in here. I'm going to bring back in Dragonair. It's going to take them a long time to get to another move, so I should be able to reach the back-to-back Body Slams needed to get rid of the Chansey. And the nice thing is that my entire team does well against Haunter, purely based off the fact that Haunter gets shredded by Dragon Breath. Thankfully, this Body Slam is enough to KO Chansey, and their final Pokemon is revealed to be Zweilous. I'm able to reach a final Body Slam before they're able to take me out. Body Slam, able to land, and suddenly I have a win con. I bring in Zweilous. I'm going to let this go. I don't fear a Dark Pulse, so I can just let a Body Slam go here, and then I can just 2-shield farm down the Haunter. Opponent saved 2 shields for their Haunter, and they're not going to get to use either one, as Zweilous fully farms down the Haunter, and that is a good game. All in all, I had an absolute blast running this team. I imagine that as this cup progresses, people will learn to respect dragon types a bit more and start running some counters to dragon types. But at the current moment, people are not really running counters to dragon types, and that allows Triple Dragon to run absolutely wild in this cup. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.